When adding and subtracting fractions, the second case is when we have different denominators. And this case takes a little bit more work because the first thing that we need to do is rewrite with common denominators. Now, once we do that, then again we can add or subtract across the top, the numerators. And then, as always, we're going to have the possibility that we need to simplify. Here's an example of adding fractions where the denominators are not the same. 7 and 4 are our two denominators. So what we need to do is find the least common denominator, which is the least common multiple of the denominators. Well, what I'm going to do is take 4 and factor it, so that's going to be 2 times 2, write out its factors, right, or 2 squared. And then 7 is already a prime number, so we'll leave that as 7. To find the least common denominator, what I want to do is look through and write out each of the factors that show up in either one of these factorizations. So 2 squared, the factor 2 shows up, and the highest power where it shows up is going to be 2. The factor 7 shows up with the highest power of 1. And that gives us the LCD, or least common denominator. So this is going to be 4 times 7, which is 28. So it turned out in this case, to get the least common denominator, you just multiply 7 times 4 because they don't have any factors in common. So here we have 3 over 7 plus 3/4. Now my goal is to rewrite both of these fractions with a denominator of 28. So if I look at 3/7, in order to get a denominator of 28, I'm going to have to multiply 7 by 4. But if I do that in the denominator, I also need to do it in the numerator so that I don't change the number. Okay, and then we have 3/4. I want to write that with a denominator of 28, and so I'm going to multiply that one by 7. But again, since I did that in the denominator, I need to do that also in the numerator so I don't change the number. And now I have two multiplications that I want to do. And I'm actually going to multiply these out. So 3 times 4 is going to be 12, and 27 times 4, or sorry, 7 times 4 is going to be 28. 3 times 7 is 21. 7 times 4 again is 28. So now we've reduced to the case where we have the same denominator. So we'll just add straight across the top. 12 plus 21 over 28. That's going to give us 33 over 28. Now we need to check to see if anything cancels. You can factor these out. 33 is 3 times 11. 28 is, 4 times 7, so it's 2 times 2 times 7. They don't have any factors in common, so there's nothing that's going to simplify in this case. Let's check for understanding. In this case, we're supposed to subtract and then write the answer in lowest terms. But you'll notice that we don't have the same denominator. One denominator is 6 and the other one is 4. So we need to find the least common denominator. So I'll factor 6. That's going to be 2 times 3. And then 4 is going to be 2 times 2, or in other words, 2 squared. So the two factors here that show up are 2 and 3. Now the highest power that I see on 2 is a square. And the highest power that I see on 3 is just 3 to the first power. And so then there's my least common denominator. When I multiply that out, I'm going to get 12. 2 times 2 is 4, and multiplied by 3 is 12. Okay, so now I need to take my fractions, 5/6 and 3/4, and I'm going to rewrite those with a denominator of 12. So to do that in the first case, I need to multiply by 2, so I'll do that on the top as well. And to do that in the second case, so for 3/4, I need to multiply by 3, so I'll do that in the top as well. Multiplying straight across, I get 5 times 2 is 10, 6 times 2 is 12. Multiplying straight across the second one, I'm going to get 9 in the numerator and 12 in the denominator. Now I have the same denominators, and so I can subtract straight across the top. So we have 1/12. That doesn't simplify at all, and so we're done.